about your family. So, how many children do you
I
have?
have one daughter.
You have one daughter. And so, how do you manage to balance work and your family life?
Before, when I was mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, well, it's mostly through remote management and then like by cell phone, di ba? And then the house I used to manage, I have an assistant and then, because we used to have a lot of guests for breakfast, for lunch, ganyan. We have a lot of meetings. That's why this place is quite big kasi we have our meetings here, di ba? We always have consultations and then we have, political party meetings. And so, I used to entertain more than I do now. And I think that, well, I'm fortunate I only have one daughter, so it's easier to manage kasi you're only adjusting to one person. Di ba?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
largely she was in school during that time, so she was also busy. And my husband is also busy because he also had his own work. So we just set aside some time during weekends or, to get together and to catch up with one another or by phone, no? But really, when you're in politics, there's really little time,
Uh,
to spend with family. So you really have to be a good scheduler.
Good time management.
Oo.
Okay. Next question, ma'am. After graduating from college, did you pursue any further studies?
I did. I have a master's degree in hotel management from
Um,
Cornell University.
okay. And ma'am, in what province did you come from?
I come from Pasig.
From Pasig.
Yeah.
Okay. So next would be the work experience. So before entering into politics, did you do any other jobs? Did you?
I did a lot. I was engaged in the private sector actually. I graduated from hotel and restaurant management and then I took my master's also in hotel management. After which I worked in hotels, various hotels, Marriott, Hyatt, Philippine Plaza, Manila Hotel, in different jobs as trainee, and then my master's degree is in kitchen design, so commercial kitchen design. And so I worked as a designer for Marriott when I graduated. And then after that, I came back to the Philippines to do independent consulting. During that time, that's when I met my husband. So I got married and then I started to manage our family businesses. Yun. And then my husband was in construction at the time, CBF. And so after 2 years of marriage, I joined him in the business and I helped him run it. When he became mayor, he left me to run the business. That's basically
So
it.
ma'am, since you're an HRM graduate, so what was the turning point of you deciding to run into politics?
Well, it was Bayani actually who first got into politics. I was very much against it because we were engaged in business, so what will happen to the business? And it's not like, you took care of it for a long time or you're just going to drop it, di ba? And then, so when he decided that when he was going to run, that I would take over the business. So I wouldn't be involved in politics so much. So in fact, I would be engaged in politics only during political campaigns because people will look for you, di ba?
Yes.
So that's when I did more full-time work. In the meantime, our businesses had to be run by professionals. And then when Bayani finished his 9 years in office, where I was so busy rin naman, sometimes I felt I was more busy in construction, di ba? And so the party decided to continue the work of Bayani, that I should run for public office. No? So I ran for mayor and I made it. So I thought I was there going to be for one term lang. Tapos, naging 2 terms, naging 3 terms. Di ba? And then, so after that, Bayani decided to run for vice president. And so I decided I will not run anymore.
Okay. So ma'am, let's now go to your about your job as a mayor.
Yeah.
So first, what do you think are the rules and responsibilities of a government official in service?
Well, every job description is different. I mean, in government, there are different roles, right?
Yes, ma'am.
As a mayor, you're the chief executive officer of the city. So I believe that the primary services that are required by the people that government needs to provide should be provided and efficiently provided. So I don't think that there's a different job description for every mayor because it's written in the local government code what the mayor's role is, what his functions are, his limitations, his powers, and how services need to be delivered. In fact, in the local government code is very structured. There's a mayor, there's a vice mayor. The vice mayor's role is to make laws, diba? To be the council with the council, and then the mayor is supposed to implement,
Okay.
diba?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that's the kind of
And what do you think is the importance of sticking to these roles as a government official, ma'am, to the development of the country?
I think it's very important to be able to be not only sticking to the role but being creative, di ba? Being innovative in your function. Kasi typically in other countries, the mayor's role is to talk to the people, to consult with the people, to be able to say what they want, what their needs are, to be able to implement it. Dito lang sa Philippines, sobrang loaded ng mayor. Kasi parang ang dami yung functions, no? Because people are always counting on him. He's the social worker, he's the, he's the developer, he's the political person, and you're expected to provide peace and order even if, there's the police, diba? So, in the Philippines, I think there's an extended role of the mayor, which is like father of the family. Diba? Parang people count on you for everything. And people think that you have the power to do everything, which is not true. Diba? Like there are people who would come to me and say, pakawalan naman ninyo siya sa bilangguan. Eh may kaso siya eh, diba? Or kaya ibalik mo yung husband ko. Ah, hello? Hindi ko kaya yon, diba? Yung mga things like that. So people come to you for many, many funny reasons also, diba? Because they think that being in office, you should be able to do something about their problem, diba? So most of the time, people come to you for their problems.
Okay.
Diba?
So, ma'am, you've mentioned that mayors here in the Philippines have lots of things to do. Parang there are extra jobs that they shouldn't handle, but ended up mayors doing it.
Yeah.
So, now how do you find your work as a mayor? Was it easy? Was it hard? Was it enjoyable? Was it
I
fun?
think it's very hard for me, no? Kasi I take my work seriously and I want to be able to deliver, diba? So I also want to set high expectations. So Bayani also set the bar or the record so high that everybody expects you to be like him, hindi ba? That it's always clean, that there's no nakawan, that the sidewalks are always cleared, that but people are people, so there are parang mushroom yung problem, no? You remove the sidewalk, you clear the sidewalk today, but tomorrow somebody will litter, somebody will squat, somebody will sell, somebody will, di ba? It's like a never-ending battle of education, and it's good if it's only the Mariqueños who are involved. You also have people in the peripheries who come to your city who don't know the rules. So maybe the Mariqueños, they will not litter. Pero after a while, when they see litter, they complain. And it's not necessarily our city that's negligent, but people from outside who throw things in our city, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
So there's, it's like a never-ending battle of telling your people to clean up and making people deliver the service. And the hard thing is, sometimes people who work in government don't like to work. So you're constantly, pushing them to do their job. Diba?
So you see your job as a mayor as a challenging role. So meron po ba kayo nakikitang part of you being a mayor na it seems enjoyable, it seems fun?
Oh yeah, talking to people is fun, di ba? Getting to know people, meeting people, getting to know different kinds of character in different kinds of situations, and the opportunity to learn, from other countries. Kasi their mayors usually get a lot of assistance from other governments to be able to learn from their experiences. So Marami kasing countries hindi na sila nagbibigay ng pera. They just give what they call capability building. Diba? So, to build capability, of course, is very interesting, diba? I mean, you learn and you see how things are done and how solutions were found for problems like in other countries, And it's also fun to share with other mayors your experience and how you're able to solve certain problems and to learn from others. So that I enjoy. I enjoy the learning part. I enjoy yung being able to solve problems. I enjoy being able to deliver service that people are happy with. Diba?
Okay.
I enjoy that the machinery of government is functioning. Diba? Siguro more CEO ako rather than politician. Or maybe that's part of it, diba? But I find that, there are also a lot of challenges because our education does not seem to be homogeneous, diba? So people come from different backgrounds, different families, different values. And so you're constantly dealing with the challenge of meeting expectation, and yet their expectation is not what you feel is your role. Diba?
Yes,
It's not for you to provide, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, ma'am. Since this is for our political science class,
Yes.
let's get on to the political science part.
Yeah.
So, for you, what do you think is good governance?
For me, good governance is transparency, being accountable to the people, delivering the service required, and trying to create order, basically, in society. I don't believe that there is any good governance na magulo. Di ba? Dapat, kung may good governance, maayos. And that's what I see in our country today. People have different definitions also of good governance.
Okay, so
Tama?
so given your own definition of good governance, do you think President Noynoy Aquino is practicing good governance? And
I think President Aquino is focusing on the transparency and accountability portion. Di ba? It is not easy to do everything at the same time. And so, I think what he's doing, his strategy is to target what is immediately the biggest problem, which is, I think he perceives corruption as the biggest problem. Di ba? So, he's targeting that.
so you think by eliminating corruption, other things would be easier to handle?
Maybe that's what he thinks, no? But I think that's perhaps the strategy of their team.
Okay. So now
Kaya lang ako, I believe, that you need systems. Di ba?
yes.
It's not just, kasi parang, I can see what the government is trying to do, and I know, and I appreciate it, and I think that we need to get going in that direction. At the same time, though, you have to fix the backbone. That's what I feel is kulang now. That, like, we don't have, there's a law in government which is you're supposed to do e-procurement. In other words, you're supposed to post all of your bids in the website, and not all are following that, di ba?
Yes.
That needs to be audited. That needs to be put in place. I feel that we can do a lot more in terms of no direct contact service. For example, if you're filing for an income tax, no contact. If you're auditing somebody, no contact. Or if you're trying to file for get a license, no contact. Why? Because contact is the source of corruption. Di ba? Parang
Yes,
hindi
ma'am.
pa na-gets yata ng government. I think hindi pa nila na-address yung side na yon, which for me is a very big leap into transparency and accountability. And maybe it's because the people inside also don't want di ba, in the different departments, di ba, maybe some don't want that kind of because with the technology nowadays, I think that should be one of the issues that we should address, di ba?
Okay.
Because that will definitely help bring us to the next step, di ba?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so now it would be Kate's turn to
Okay.
ask you questions.
Okay lang. Walang maano.
Go lang.
Okay, go lang.
Okay.
Sorry.